boy. One of my favorite moments in my life. I love it. I love this song. I loved making this song. I loved working on edits with this song. This is whoa, what a lady. She's a professional model now, but I caught her, Ashwini. I filmed a lot of videos. I did a lot of film work. I made a movie, but this was follow-on videos in India, Bombay and Pune, Maharashtra.
How'd you find her?
A friend of mine who kind of became my producer, who helped set all this stuff up, and he's now working full-time making TV shows in Maharashtra. Oddly enough, Marathi, the language, I would have never guessed it's the 5th or 6th most spoken language in the world. That's how populated some of the states are in India. But she, small town girl.
Long day on set that day?
Pardon?
Was it a long day on set?
No, we filmed 2 videos that day. This was all done in like 2 hours. The biggest problem was very conservative, most of the Indian population. So to do anything where they're maybe wearing a bikini even is almost never seen. I don't want to call it prude, but I've heard the word prude said about their cultural society norms. But so she was filming these scenes, as you've seen, and there were so many of the extras on the set trying to sneak in and stick their head around the door and discover what was happening. And she got a little bit miffed by that after a while. But that was a great scene. That's a great picture right there.
Yeah, right.
Woo!
Okay,
Let's start off on the top. It's going to be hard for you to beat that one. Well, that's a more lighthearted song. Delivery Boy. That was actually a song I wrote here in Springfield back when I was living here for a couple of years in the early 90s. And I used to write my songs out. We bought a farm out towards Ozark, and on Smallman Road. I had a farm and we had horses, and I used to sneak out to the barn and where my guitar was and work on songs. And then get in trouble because I'd go out to the barn to feed the horses. Should be back in 10 minutes and 45 minutes. And my wife's like, "Where are you? You're out there in the barn again?" So this song here, this was also filmed by my friends, my crew, and this is also another very beautiful and successful model. Deprika, I think is her name. We're all Facebook friends. Some of these ladies post all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Inundation.
Mostly on Instagram, though. Delivery Boy.
How did the concept come about?
For the song?
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of my songs just happen. You get a little jingle in your head, and you got kind of a phrase of words that start feeling right, and it builds. You might start off the song with one sort of intent, and then it ends up having a whole different message and meaning as you build and work the song. It's kind of a cool process to write a song, but this was back more than my naive days. I might have written this song probably around 1990 or something. That's a lot. That's a lot of lifetimes ago.
Yeah. Things have changed.
Especially with me. That was another video. That was the first video where I met Ashwini. That's me in the middle. I always thought I could sell this to like the Humane Society or something, or SPCA. That's when I met Ashwini, and she was just so much fun to work with. She was agreeable, and would brighten up any scene in any series of episodes. She was always just fun to work with. But these were other pictures of the animals were taken by a friend of mine, just randomly going out and getting some furry critters photos for the and videos for this the video that we made for Relove song.
Was the Gorilla Head impromptu or planned?
Well, of course, we had to have that gorilla head on set, so it was planned. But you never know. I mean, in my opinion, if you're trying to make something that's kind of loose and fun, just bring as much as you can to the party, and then as the whole project and the moment starts to develop and be what it is going to be, you never know what's going to be the most fun part. And so the gorilla head was brought. I don't think we ever thought it was going to be so much a big part of that video. And then Ash Weenie started wearing the gorilla head too. And
was it choreographed in any form, or was it
well, you see how free form that one was. Yeah. Yes. Very, very free form. All right, now this is a video you guys should use because this shows, you know, what it's really like. You know, quite honestly, this shot, this sequence is probably 50 meters from where our new building is, our new school. Just so happens because that was the way out of town to where we would go out and visit a lot of the schools. That's I think it's north.
Is tuk-tuking daily driving, or is that more of like long travel?
No, tuk-tuks are basically taxis.
Okay.
That is the taxi of Cambodia, not a regular taxi. I think they're called auto rickshaws in some places, but that's how you'll get around, and that's how I was getting around, either that or walking for many years. My first translator was a tuk-tuk driver, and we would just go out and visit schools, and he would translate what I'm saying and tell the kids. And it was a tuk-tuk driver. My beginnings in Cambodia are very much intertwined around the world of tuk-tuk drivers and tuk-tuks.
Is that more of a main road we're looking at, or kind of a side?
No, that's one of the main road. That is the main road out of town along the river. To the left, you see the road here, and then to the other side of that is the river. And like I said, we're probably 50 to 100 meters down this exact road.
Wow.
And that is the main way out of town on that side of town. They're talking about building a highway now, like a regular 4-lane highway between Siem Reap and Phnom Penh, but that will take years, and they're talking about it being a toll road, which will keep a lot of the common man off of it. You know, even $5 to drive on a toll road would just, some people are just not going to pay for that.
Yeah. Okay, last one.
You know, at one point I thought this was maybe the best drawing I'd ever done in my life.
Cool.
I was filming a video here. I was filming this myself during COVID lockdown. I made a video for a song called "Are There Ghosts Alive? Ghosts Alive in Me, or Is This My Destiny Trying to Be Free?" I think that was filmed for that song, but it was also at that time I was filming training videos to send back to the kids, lessons to send back to the kids in Siem Reap, because as you know, we were all separated for years. And my only way of, communicating with them and was through Zoom calls, phone calls, FaceTime, all of that stuff. So
how long did that take?
This drawing? Probably 30 hours. But it's really so much of my drawings are, I got downtime, I'm watching a TV show, it's a little bit boring, I'll just kind of watch the TV show and I draw, and I do a lot of these. This one would be too big to do on an airplane, but it's very painless. It's not like, I gotta sit down and work for 2 hours. I don't work that way. I work in 20, 30-minute sections. I'll be cooking, I work on a drawing for a little bit, go back to the oven, check the oven, get a glass of wine, come back over, work on the drawing. It's a really easy flow, the way I work on drawings. Paintings are more this like, I gotta get this right, and And I'm trying to turn my painting into more of this fun, trying to make my paintings now more like my drawings, which are more free and expressive rather than overly planned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's probably easier to pick up a pen than it is to get all the stuff out for painting.
Well, I have all my stuff already out, but it's to me, of all the things I do, creatively, painting is the most difficult for me because color can just affect everything so quickly. Mm-hmm. It can change a painting so quickly. So I'm trying to get. I'm trying to build a good relationship with color.
Yeah.
We're trying to become friends
like
rather than enemies.
Creativity level jumps really quickly.
It's suddenly, it turns a drawing into 100 times more possibilities. A drawing is more, it's almost like left brain in a way, and you're trying to, carve it out and make it right, whatever right in your head is. But painting is, whether you make that line red or black or yellow or green, and then what's the color next to it, it just turns it into this greatly, exponentially more complicated. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't have to be. I've got to make peace with color. But I would say when I paint, I've said before that I can paint for 1 hour and my brain is more completely, thoroughly exhausted than doing anything else. Really? It's sort of like you use every piece of your brain to paint. That's, yeah.
It's like the limitless drug.
Yeah. It's a big deal. Yeah.
All right.
Maybe I make too big of a deal out of it. Anyhow, bye. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, one more.
Oh! Daniel Jenkins. Okay, this is a promo video for the movie The Genius of Beauty. And one of the most far-out, crazy, fun things I've ever done in my life was to make that movie. In a way, I got very much in trouble making such a wild, crazy movie because it is kind of, I don't know of any other movie quite like this one. But the scene you got right there is Daniel Jenkins. He played our detective trying to find Dr. Slice and Dice around the world.
With the ears?
Yeah, he's the dude with the ears. He was actually in the movie, which I was talking about last night, Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of the most prominent actors in Singapore. And it was a real coup. It was a fantastic thing for him to do our movie. I'll be honest with you, we had to kind of plan the entire movie making around his schedule.
Really?
Because he was the guy. Mm-hmm. And but he was a great actor, great guy to work with. And we're still, Facebook friends, hey, how you doing kind of stuff. But he's really hard. When I go back to Singapore, he's hard to track down because he's always working. He's always working at night. When I'm free, he's doing a show.
Yeah, wow.
Great guy.
I don't know, anything else with that scene or that movie? Filming the promo even? Was the promo pulled from clips of the movie, or did you dedicate?
No, this was done way as somewhat of an afterthought 3, 4, 5 years later as I'm trying to build, let's say, my website.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of promo posters. A lot of the real promo, as far as me trying to sell the movie and get people, into the buzz, would be interviews and so forth with like news people in India, Bombay. Bombay's like L.A. The move L.A. so much revolves around the making of entertainment and movies. And Bombay's very similar to that.
As I say, like any reminiscent of Bollywood in a sense of like the scene where you filmed this, or no?
Well, we filmed in a lot of different places, a lot of different sets, a lot of homes. I remember we were filming a scene, which was basically a scene of the doctor one-on-one in the back of a police car after he's been caught. And we started filming around 2 o'clock at night, and we had to film before the sun came up. But we're filming between 2 o'clock at night. It was a nighttime scene, and the director wanted to have it in this kind of very famous part of Bombay, which had the bay in the background and some of the skyscrapers. But we did that because they knew of some of the cops who controlled that area. If you paid them enough money, you could come down and film there, even though you're not supposed to. You got to go through all of these requirements and signatures with the government. So we snuck in there. I don't know how much money they paid them, and we did our filming, and we finished, right as the sun was coming up. Then we filmed some more scenes, but that was, I would say I could do 10 podcasts on making the movie and all the different things that I learned, good, bad, and ugly, all of that. It was, the filming, actual filming took us about 5 or 6 weeks, but the prep started a year before. And as you're, interviewing actors and actresses, that was a blast. All the different kinds of people, and the one actor can change a movie a lot if with their personality and the influence.
Yeah.
And one thing I would say is I was totally blown away by the quality of the actors in India. They act differently than on Western movies, but they act in a way which is for their audience. So they're usually more animated and big and maybe stupid, whereas you watch American movies and everything's kind of, the motions are, the one little emotion like this will say a big thing, whereas in India it might have to be like that to say the same thing to their audience. But I was very impressed with the actors and the professionalism there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.